Hey, Shalom, Mesha, I want to start off. So let's begin no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, El Shah, Hashem, Kudash, the belongs to the apostles of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work in truth, what sincerity. Hey, what the hell could go wrong, man? Look, Esau, man, Esau needs to be taken out of the game, and he will. That's been promised. Right, it says plans from the Guardian. It says plan to release genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida gets go ahead. Right, so 750 million insects to be released with second trial plan for Texas. Right, critics say risk of Jurassic Park experiment not assessed. Right, so this is a British company called Oxitec. I mean, Oxitec refers to the word that just came into my mind right now. It's toxic, man. Right. And basically, look, man, this man's basically genetically modified the mosquitoes. This proponents of the trial say that as only modified male mosquitoes, which do not bite, will be released, there will be no danger to the public. And even then, I'm saying, but wait, they're gonna mate with females that do bite, and then if they're passing on something bad to the female, then surely that there is then a risk to the public, right? You listening to this man, when he's doing his witchcraft, right? You ask certain questions and this, that, and the other. Well, but the question is, what the hell could go wrong? In fact, that's even down there, right? It says, the plan is a Jurassic Park experiment, says J.D. Hansen, the policy director. It says the policy director for the International Center for Technology Assessment and Center for Food Safety. What could possibly go wrong? We don't know, because they unlawfully refuse to seriously analyze environmental risks, right? It says mosquitoes have long plagued people in the marsh-rich Florida environment. Native Americans used to ward the biters off with smoke or simply bury themselves in sand to avoid them, while early Edomite settlers slathered themselves in bear fat or burned oily rags. Right, so why can't they do that, man? Right? Whatever about a mosquito nets. Why you gotta do all of this, man? Right? Just leave the ecosystem to be, what it is, man. Right? But nah, Esau's always gonna do something, man. It says Isaiah 24:5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. So this earth is defiled, man. All right, this earth is defiled, right? Because one thing I know is that mosquito larvae, which cause eaten by fish, right? Because I remember when I first heard about Esau trying to, play around to eradicate mosquitoes, I was like, well, wait, there. At the end of the day, in fact, let me grab that right now. This is a Sirach 39, right? All right, I'm gonna start from 32. Right, it says, therefore from the beginning I was resolved and thought upon these things and have left them in writing. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. Right? So, and just before this, in like the 28th verse, talking about, the spirits create for vengeance, fire, hell, famine, death, teeth of wild beasts, right? And all of that, all of the scary stuff, if you will. I was trying to think of a better word than that, but all of the all stuff that can actually kill you, right? Here it's saying all the works of the Lord are good. So the Lord has made these mosquitoes for a purpose and for a reason, right? It goes on to say, so that a man cannot say this is worse than that, for in time they shall be all well approved, right? So basically, Esau was saying the Most High didn't know what the hell he was doing when he created the mosquitoes, right? And if it's out there killing people, then hey, what did we just, I quoted it, but I'll read it real quick. Verse 28: there be spirits that are created for vengeance, right? So if there's, a guy gets, stung up by a mosquito and then he gets a disease from that and then he dies, that's because the Most High willed it, right? Scriptures say this. This is Psalm 68:20. He that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the Most High, the Lord, belong the issues from death. So the Most High is the one that decides whether you die or whether you live or whatever, Right? It says 1 Samuel 2 and 6, reiterating the point: the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So if you die because most I'll put you to death, man. Right? What else do we have here? That's the one I want. So Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Right? So, hey, look, man. In fact, just even on that, retain. Can't spell. This is Ecclesiastes 8 and 8 says, there is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, right? So when it's your time to go, when it's your time, the Lord requires your spirit. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So neither hath he power in the day of death, right? All right, so and there is no discharge in that war, right? Discharge, mashallah, right? Feminine of H4916, admission, release, an army, discharge sending, deputation, not too sure. But basically, you can't basically fight against the Most High, right? When He's required your soul, right? So you get all of these elites, trying to find a way to live forever, or try merging man with machine so that you can live forever. Look, man, you ain't got power over the spirit, right? When the Most High requires your spirit, it's your time to go, right? So, hey, look, man, leave the mosquitoes alone, man, right? You know, but this man's the devil, and what does the scripture say also about this man, right? It says Habakkuk 2 and 5. Right, it says, yea, also because in fact, let me read 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right, to try eradicate something, and to release something like that into the wild, right? You've not really done any assessment, because this is Esau, right? You know what's gonna happen, as it always is. You're gonna release it, and it's gonna be like, oh my God, this has actually been terrible. And do you know what Esau's gonna say? Oops, right? Because this man's all about. Oops, right? Because behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right? Only he, will want to go in and try, re-engineer what the Most High has already made perfect. You read Genesis 1. What does the scripture say? The Lord made it, and He said it was good. Right? So it goes on and says, but the just shall live by his faith. Now that bit's talking about the Israelites, man, right? In this time, the elect, right? We'll live by faith, man, right? It says verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by one, just talking about philosophies, he is a proud man, and who's more proud than Esau, right? He's lifted himself up to be as the Most High, right? It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, right? So, the grave cannot be satisfied, man, right? If every man on earth today was to die, guess what? The earth will consume them all, right? And this is Esau, and that's what the scriptures say in Matthew 24:22, except for the elect, if those days should not be shortened, right, then there'll be no flesh to be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? So, but gathereth, says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, right? This man don't know what the hell can happen from genetically modifying these mosquitoes, right? But yeah, hey, the earth has been given into his hand for this time, and this is another example of why he has to be taken out of power, right? So, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? And that's talking about these melting pots that he's built up, right? Even now on my what you call it, my Google, my Chromecast, right? It says, what is that, Manhattan, man? Right, where you see skyscrapers and apartment buildings and all of that sort of stuff, and in those, in these areas, you got people from all nations, man, right? And what does that help him do? That helps him spread his wine throughout throughout the world. If you spirit, something I think about a lot. Brothers, who have family in, like, quote unquote, what Esau refers to as third world countries, what countries where they're a little bit, they're not as bugged out as the people over here. What does your moms or your pops or your uncles and aunties do? They export the philosophies that they learn in the West, in these metropolises, back home. So then now your cousins that have never even been here, now they're feminists and shit, right? And that's part of it. Obviously there's the wine, there's a radio and there's a television and all of that. But having family members here, that actually then further pushes that agenda more so, right? But I'm gonna end with this, man, because this is beautiful, right? Esau's doing all of this madness, right? Trying to get rid of the mosquitoes, genetically modifying the mosquitoes, this, that, and the other, right? But guess what? Who's gonna be eradicated? Right? Hey, look, if you go, you watch them not movies, them documentaries, which go to the depths of the ocean. You see the creepiest looking fish or animals down there, right? Um, uh, 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 and all of that sort of stuff, right? Um, so like, I just need to respond to work real quick. It says, yeah, so it says, and the house of Jacob shall be. So yeah, it's ironic. He's been doing all of this stuff, trying to get rid of the animals. Guess what? He's the one that's going to be gotten rid of, right? Everyone else, all of the nasty animals, all the weird, hey, squids and octopuses are going to be in the kingdom, man, right? Worms are going to be in the kingdom. Right, mosquitoes are gonna be in the kingdom, man. Right, vultures and snakes and vipers and slugs and snails, pigs even. Right, they're all gonna be in the kingdom. But Esau, after 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, he's gonna be done away with, man. So it's only fitting. It's only fitting. It says Obadiah 1:18 says, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, the house of Joseph, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it." Right, so the Edomites are going to be done away with, and they're going to be done away with forever, and good riddance. Right, good riddance. And all right now, Esau was esteemed as, this great being, but in that day, look, man, people gonna know, right? Says Isaiah 14 is this the man. It's Isaiah 14 and 16, right? That's it. It says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, right? That made the world as a wilderness and destroy the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of his prisoners," right? So these nations, man, they go and they go and look at Esau and they gonna be like, "Look, man, who the fuck is this guy?" Right? Because really, that's what it is. Scripture says, in Daniel, what Daniel says, so that the Most High can show that He ruleth, right, in the kingdom of men. He setteth up over it the basest of men, right? In not Hosea, in Daniel. Did I say Daniel? Hosea? Well, in Daniel, right? That's what it says, right? The Lord has set up the basest of men, right, to rule over the world, right? But yeah, in that day you're gonna be remembered, man, as just who the fuck you're gonna be known for who you really are, Esau, man. Right. So with that, Lord's will, I was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.